Good evening, everyone. This is Angela with Maximizing Your Season of Singleness. I hope you guys have had a great week. I have not only just a guest with me, but a friend, and she's also my accountability partner, and she's an elevation life coach. So her name is Delia Butler. How you doing today, Miss D? I call her.
Hi, hon. Hi, how are you? I am so pleased to be on your show today. I know it's going to be really good.
Yes,
I'm praying
ma'am.
that it's going to bless someone.
I agree. I think so as well. I don't think so. I know it will. And I
Good.
say that, you guys, because Ms. D has been married. Like I said, she's an elevation life coach, but she was previously married for what, 22, 23 years?
Yes,
Yes.
long time.
And she is a life after divorce coach. So I want to talk to her today, guys, and she's going to discuss what it was like maximizing her season of singleness after divorce, after all those years. And you guys know, not last week, but week before, we had Destiny on, and she's 25. She's a millennial, and she talked about a little bit about her breakup and what it was like, of just saying that it's okay to walk away. But in this instance, D, it was not okay. Well, I can't say that it's okay now, but at that time, I'm sure you didn't feel like it was okay for
Right,
him to walk away.
right. Well, I just want to say hi to your audience.
Thank you.
And it was truly a heart-wrenching journey to say the
Mm-hmm.
least. So in my situation, it was not easy to walk away. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, I didn't want to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to preserve and keep and work on, but when the other party is not interested in those things,
Mm-hmm.
then that's your time. That's a time when you have to really do self eval, reflect, talk to God,
Mm-hmm.
pray, humble yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because your ego gets in the way sometimes of making decisions about, no, I'm gonna stay here, I'm gonna fight it out. And sometimes God may say, you have to leave, because he's not going to force, or I guess the word is force, another person's will
Yeah, that's
to make
true.
it his will.
Mm-hmm.
So and he knew that, so he's like, it's time to walk away.
Oh, so let me ask you something. How did you know it was time to walk away? And like you said, he's not going to force another person's will. He gives us a choice. So your ex-husband just was not in that place to where he wanted to work things out.
How I knew it was time to walk away was when I asked him
Mhm.
to, I'm going to step back a minute.
Okay.
It's amazing how, when you yourself are in a situation,
Mhm.
how differently you react than what you thought.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we always say, oh, I'll never do that. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that. And let me
Mhm.
tell you, I groveled. I was crying. I was like, oh my gosh, I still
Mhm.
want you. I still want this. But when he kind of put his hands up, and say, hey, I'm in love with her.
Oh, wow.
You can't fight. You can't fight that.
No,
You
you
can't
can't.
fight when a person tells you, I'm no longer in love with you. I'm in love with someone else.
Yeah. And I'm sure that had to be, like you said, it was gut
Already moved
wrenching.
on.
Do what now? I'm sorry.
I'm saying that was, yeah, it was gut wrenching.
Mhm.
I didn't expect it.
Of course.
And when someone says that to you, you go through all kinds of things, like
Mhm.
self-esteem is out the door. I mean,
Mhm.
it's gone, it left.
Mhm.
Your confidence,
Mhm.
everything. And so if a woman ever finds herself in that situation, my thing is pray.
Mhm.
I truly prayed, probably more than I've ever prayed in my life at that
Okay.
point,
Mhm.
and seek support. Seek support from others who are prayer warriors too, but wouldn't
Okay.
judge, wouldn't
Mhm.
insert what their what they're thinking or what. No, you should try to grab him no, you just need someone there to say, hey, I got you.
Okay.
So if you just need me to sit here and just look at you and just say, girl, you got this, that's what you need.
Yeah, I can only imagine, you know, I was only married for 7 years and we were separated for 2 of those years. And I knew when it was time for me to walk away, but 7 years compared to 22, 23 years, that's a long time, you know.
And then not even had a clue of what was going on. Yeah, that was really tough.
Wow. So you would say the first thing that you did to really start maximizing your season of singleness was self-evaluation, just turning to God, that prayer, just to kind of pick yourself back up and finding a support system.
And honestly, that took a couple of years. It wasn't something that actually just happened. Because you're not in that zone yet. No. You know, you have to go through all these different emotions, anger, bitterness, resentment, you know, being scared, being vulnerable, not being vulnerable, you know, being, you know, upset, all these different emotions you experience first before you even start that healing process, maximizing your singleness. For me, maximizing my singleness meant, accepting what is.
All right. Okay.
Moving forward, asking God, what's next? Because when you've been married that long, you see yourself as a wife. I mean, I was married at the age of 24.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I've that's all I saw myself as, a wife for all those years.
And his wife, of course.
Right. So now I'm single. What does that look like? What is it? Single? How do you be single?
Yeah.
People don't realize that you have to now shift. You have to make a mental and emotional and also sometimes physical, because I moved out and I had to get my own place and all of that. So maximizing my singleness wasn't as easy as, you know, some people that I see, left and did it. No, for me, it was truly starting over.
Wow. Okay.
100% starting over again. So yeah, maximizing my singleness. If I had to do it all over again, I probably would have sought like therapy earlier. In the game, you know, to help me through that process.
Okay. So you think, so when you say therapy, you did that after the fact. So is that something you feel like God led you towards, like, get help? Was it taking a long time for you to really accept what was happening in your life at that point?
Yeah, I think it took me, I would say probably a good 2.5 to 3 years. And yeah, I felt led to go and talk to someone and because I was extremely angry.
Okay.
And I was probably in denial too, this happened to me? Like, how did this happen? You know, so.
Wow. Yeah. Were you angry with God? Did you go through that process?
Absolutely. I was very angry with God because I didn't understand why he would allow me to go through a situation like that when marriage is, you know, his covenant.
Exactly.
You know, his covenant, Lord. Exactly. His covenant.
Okay. So, wow, I can't even imagine being with someone that long and then just feel like you're being torn apart, basically. But look at you now. You're doing great now. You look great. You have a lot of wonderful things going on. Your ministry, basically, you're helping other women, and you've made a business of it also, helping other women that are going through life after divorce. To find that confidence in themselves, that, you know, just to know who they are, as far as self-esteem and loving themselves. And you've even started your own, your skincare products.
Yes.
I mean, who would think? And when you really think about it, it's like, would you have been in the position to do these things had you not have gone through what you went
No, I can almost say that it probably wouldn't have happened this way
through?
had I not been, allowed to go through this process.
Okay.
But and my relationship with the Lord actually grew so much stronger and more intimate because I had no choice but to depend on him.
Okay.
I was in my own place, and so I started to look at God as truly my provider, not just saying he's my provider, but literally, physically, emotionally, God, you got to pay this bill today. How you go? Show me what to do, what you need me to do. How am I going to do this? And he literally, I did not skip a beat.
Wow.
It's amazing how God really provides for his children. And when I needed someone to talk to, I would just talk to him, and I would tell him, I said, God, Father, I'm really angry at you and I'm hurt. I'm, this and I'm that. But as it's been 10 years since that situation, because I was in 2012.
Okay.
Interesting. Because tomorrow actually makes 10 years.
Wow,
so,
really?
Finish. Interesting how we're doing this on today.
Wow.
So tomorrow actually made 10 years. And my love for God has soared and elevated. It's just on a whole nother level. Like I truly trust him in most things. I can't say all things because we're still on this journey.
Exactly.
And when things pop up, it's like, okay, wait a minute, whoa. And then he has to show you again, like, did I not have your back? But it doesn't mean that things don't hurt. And that's the thing I had to get in my head. Even though I know God have me and I know this and that, I'm like, God, it still hurts. Do you not realize that? Okay. It hurts, So, but he definitely mends the brokenhearted. He definitely does. And I don't think I would be where I am today, having a really good, successful coaching business where I do take, help women take their life on a journey with life after divorce, helping them to understand and see that, in that moment of the after is when a lot of times you find your purpose in life.
Yes, most that right in the middle of that pain, right in the middle of it. And it's like when you give it to God, you give him your pain, and that's what he wants us to do. He wants us to put him first. And a lot of times in marriages and relationships, we're idolizing the person and we're looking at them like they're our savior versus God.
Come on now.
And he doesn't like that. We know that. But he brought you back around. It's unfortunate what happened, but in the midst of that, you turned to him because you needed him for everything, just to survive.
Everything.
And we all need to know that we need him for everything. I don't care what you're going through.
Right.
It will get better. It may take some time, but it will get better. And like she said, if you need therapy, if you have to talk to someone, do it. Don't feel embarrassed or ashamed, because a lot of times, especially that old school generation, I can say, you and I, we're in our 50s, but if we go some in their 60s, they don't believe in therapy. They just think, get on your knees and pray about it and it'll be okay. And not to say that it won't be, that God cannot fix anything, because he can. But at the same time, that's why you have coaches. That's why you have therapists and psychiatrists and things like that to help us during those times when we feel like, I'm about to lose it. I need to speak to someone right now. Of course, we call out to God and the Holy Spirit for help. But if we ask him to bring the right people in our lives, that support system, like you mentioned, he'll do it.
Absolutely.
So that's that's so important.
One of the things that I also want to mention is you really start to trust him
Mm-hmm.
even more, because you saw how he brought you through this difficult, challenging part in your life. And then one of the things about life is you're going to end up in another situation where it's challenging.
Well,
and when
neither
that
are
finishes,
you.
then there's another one. And then when that finishes, there's
Always.
another.
Yes,
You get a
ma'am.
little break in between sometimes, and then there's another one. And that builds up that trust. Like,
It
you know what,
does.
God, you brought me out of the last 15 of them. Hey, I'm not even gonna worry about it, like whatever.
Exactly.
So, and you get closer and closer and closer with the Lord if you allow that relationship to foster like that. And it is truly a beautiful thing, because honestly, that's what he wants from us.
Okay.
He wants to be the center of your life.
He really
And
does.
if it means breaking you, allowing you to be in some hard, challenging situations, because one of the things I really came to realize is that my spiritual life, my salvation is more important than my feelings.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. And then that's hard to admit. I've had to come to that same conclusion here lately, that being saved and having God's love, that means more than my feelings. You know, we'll get past our feelings and everything, but sometimes it can be a bit tough, but we just have to give it to him and keep pushing forward towards purpose. Would you say that being in purpose, you know, helping others, has that also helped you? Did that help you during your time period as you were getting over things and you came to a point to where you said, you know what, let me help someone else with this same thing, as you were coming out of that season of your life?
Well, honestly, my coaching women who are either getting ready to experience a divorce or after didn't start till about a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I have been coaching for a long time. I even had a shelter for homeless women and children back in 2006 to 2009. But the actual part of coaching women who are experiencing or have been through a divorce, that just happened. I didn't want nothing to do with it, to be honest with you.
Really?
No, I absolutely didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. I didn't care. And actually, it was my business coach who asked me to, she said, you know, I want you to share your story with me. And I shared my story. She said, no, you wanted to do that. That's not what I'm hearing. I'm like, what you hearing? You know, because I wanted to do something totally different, coaching in a totally different area. And she said, life after divorce, you have to share your testimony. You have to help women get to that place, because I actually had developed a program for my own self.
Oh, wow.
After I actually got separated and was on my own, I developed a program, nothing elaborate or anything, but just some things that I needed to really work on, finances and my emotional health and my, you know, my self-awareness and confidence and my self-esteem, because I was really broken down. And so I put things together for me, because I didn't have anyone to just go run to. And as a coach, I didn't know about really any coaches that would help me with the divorce part and my self-awareness and my, you know, a guide or anything. So I actually put together a guide for my own self. And I never thought about using that as an actual tool until after my business coach said, hey, you need to be a life after divorce coach. And then I said, well, wait a minute, God had already given me all these things. So that's when I knew that the connection, when she said that, I knew that was God, because I'd already had a program for myself that I just put on the back shelf and didn't, you know, bother look at it after I helped myself. And then God said, nope, you need to do that.
See, he used the pain. He uses the pain, all of us, you know, the things that we go through. And he tells us that also none of it is going to go to waste. And I did the same thing that you did. Once I got saved and all the things I was going through in the wilderness, just writing and, you know, and one day he just kind of dropped that in my spirit,
Right.
life coach. And I'm like, life coach, I never once thought of it.
Right.
I've heard of coaching, but I didn't really know what it was. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if some may call it, like my pastor might even call it ministering to other
Right.
women,
Right.
which is basically what we're doing.
What it is.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it, so, and
Right.
I hope that other women will also hear this and understand that there is life after divorce.
Absolutely.
God, he will use everything that you go through, and right in the middle of that pain, when you give it all to him, he will show you what it is he wants.
Absolutely.
He will. You'll
Because,
know.
Right. Because I notice I noticed a pattern with some women that I had started coaching and talking to. They get stuck after the divorce.
Okay.
Because they no longer feel whole. They no longer see themselves as valuable.
Exactly.
They no longer see themselves as enough. They no longer see themselves as pretty. They no longer see themselves as confident. They no longer see themselves as, hey, I got it together. That's the purpose of my coaching, is to help them move them along that trench in life, and get them to, hey, no, this is the most beautiful season now, because you have time to pray, you have time to meditate, you have, you're not dividing yourself anymore. You have time to evaluate, you have time to figure out what your purpose is in life. You can start all over again.
Wow.
I love start overs.
Reinvent yourself.
Reinvent yourself, right? Yes. I love start overs.
Yeah.
They are wonderful. And you get to create, you get to be so creative.
You really can. I agree.
You can go back to school, you can start a business, you could be a coach, you could be a lecturer, you could be a speaker, you can be whatever you want to be.
Whatever you want to do.
And so that's what I show them. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give a quick testimony of one of the ladies. I'm not going to call her name, of course. I am so proud of this young lady. She's in her 50s and awesome. She was broken when she came to me. I mean, this girl's self-esteem was so shot. Like, even I was like, okay, God, like, do I really have what it takes as a coach to help this young? And to see, I put her through my 8-week program, and to see where she is today. Okay. This girl has soared. Her self-esteem has soared. Her confidence soared. Wow. I even look back, I was like, wow, look at you, God, because I give him all the glory, honor, and praises, because even though we have God had given us this talent, or he gave us this wonderful treasure, it's because of him. It's because of God.
I agree.
And I see her on Instagram and stuff, doing her thing and doing this and doing that. I'm like,
wow. See what you helped her do? But see, and that's what I want other women to know, and the men that watch the show, that God wants to use us all if we will allow him to. And like you said, sometimes he has to break us down to build us back up the way that he wants to. And we don't get to choose how he's going to break us down or what we're going to go through. We don't get to choose our process at all. We just have to give it to him, lean on him with everything we have. That's all we can do. And then he'll bring us up out of it. We will see the light again. And I will say this also, well, I'll announce that in a moment, but do you see a difference in yourself right now? Well, no, I'll announce it, because the question that I'm going to ask is tied into it. I will say this, guys. Dee, after divorce, after all that, she's now engaged.
Yes.
She's now engaged. And
after 10 years.
Exactly. And she's doing amazing. So let me ask you, with that being said, you maximize your singleness by turning to God and putting him first and allowing him to love on you and show you who you are. And then the things that he wanted you to do to help other women as well.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
with that being said, do you see a difference now going into this relationship now that you're engaged to this wonderful man? And not to
Right.
say that your ex-husband was not great, but do you
Right.
see a difference? Whereas before, I think you shared with me before that it was all about him or the family, whereas now
Right.
you're actually doing your thing, what God
Right.
has called you to do.
Well, I want to say this real quickly too.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until 2.5, 3 years ago, I said, because I was dating, I was going out and, meeting people,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't clicking, it wasn't working. And I remember finally saying, you know what, God, whatever. It is well with my soul. So if you want me to be single for the rest of my life, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
I am listen, one thing I've learned through this whole journey,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to win any battles with God.
No, no.
So I after pushing and trying to squeeze a round hole in a square peg or a square peg in a round hole, whatever,
Yeah.
and things not working and this, and I'm like, oh yeah. I finally got it. I'm like, God, it is well with my soul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with you, just you and I.
Okay.
And months later, my fiance came into my life. And I
Wow.
looked at him like, who are you? What do you want? I was good.
Uh-huh.
I was good with me and God.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so, yes, I can see the difference as far as when you wait upon the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
He truly renews your strength.
Mm.
And waiting on Him, I could have gotten married before. I was, proposed to.
Okay.
Not really proposed to like that, but I was like, girl, yeah, I want to marry you, this and that. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But waiting on God and just letting God guide me,
Mm-hmm.
it's totally different now.
Okay.
Because there was no struggle. There was no feeling. It just was no struggle. It was so easy. It was peaceful.
Okay.
It was just coming together was just very
Natural.
effortless.
Very,
And natural.
effortless
Right.
and natural. Okay.
Right.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's awesome.
And that He allows me to have my businesses,
Mm-hmm.
and do the things that I know is my purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another indicator that, and supports me.
Oh.
And that was also another indicator that, okay. And, real quickly, I had gotten very, very ill with COVID in 2020. And this man literally took care of me as if I was as if a mother taking care of a child.
Oh, yeah.
He was very gentle and caring and, because I was very sick. So he pretty much did everything that he possibly could do, to help bring me back, to strength.
Wow.
And so, yeah. And that's when
Yeah.
when they see you at your worst and worst and worst and the worst part of you, and they still hanging there. So yeah, it's a blessing.
That is a blessing. So I will say that time you had to yourself, learning who you are and allowing God to love on you, and knowing the love for God and the way He loves us helped you to recognize Him.
Yes, absolutely.
That's amazing.
I could probably venture off and say that had I not been through some of the things that I've been through, I probably wouldn't have recognized him.
Wow. So sometimes we gotta go through. We gotta go through it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, Dee, you know what? And see, we're friends, so we talk all the time anyways, guys. We were talking before we started here, so before we started recording, but we're already coming up on our time to wrap things up, but we're going to have to continue our conversation. But what I will do, I will include Dee's information, her website, So you guys can check it out if anybody wants to even follow her on social media. I'll put that information in the description box. And check out some of her body butter, some of her skincare products. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, my skincare products, I mean, I'm not saying this, y'all, but my skincare products really are the bomb. And the reason why it's so good is because I actually made the skincare products for me. I had I didn't have any, I didn't necessarily want it to be out there.
Okay.
But because it was doing so well for me and really healing my body and my skin, especially after coming out with COVID and having all these other health issues. And then my girlfriends them started saying, well, make me some, because I use natural products, natural ingredients like jojoba oil, vitamin E oil, castor oil, even I make my own lip balms and shea butter and sugar scrubs and all of that. Wow. Yeah, ladies, we gotta make sure we are taking care of ourselves also on the outside, just like we do on the inside.
That's right. That's right. See, and by you being a coach, you got to turn to the Lord to work on the inside, walking through that process after divorce or breakup. And then you're also helping with the outside as well, just helping and bringing out the light from the inside out, so to speak. So that's awesome. I'm going to get your information and I'll include it here so you guys can go check her out. Please do, and follow her, and just ask her some questions. She's there. She's there for you.
I am there for you.
Yes, ma'am. I thank you so much, Dee. I'm excited.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. It was beautiful. Such as yourself.
Thank you, Mom. So are you. And guys, just to let you know, this may be the last video that I put up on the church website. I'm not real sure, on the church platform, so to speak. I really don't know. Dr. Daniels and I are doing things a little bit differently. Those in the church, you understand what's going on right now. And he's my mentor, and I think he's probably brought me as far as he can right now. And he's kind of like a baby bird pushing me out of the nest, so to speak, but he's still there, and I'll still have him on as a guest speaker from time to time. So I will have I have my own YouTube page that I don't use very often anyways, because I switched over, but I think I'm going to go back to that, and it's under Surrender for Sanity. I'll also put that information in the description box for you guys as well. So, and with that being said, I thank you guys for watching and supporting as always. I love you guys. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you guys again next week. Have an awesome week. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.